everybody, Nancy here from American Pet Professionals. We're still at Bark World and I'm here with Brian Fanzo. So if you don't know Brian Fanzo and you're not thinking like a fan, he is on, say your name.
Yeah, iSocial Fans.
iSocial Fans. If you don't know him, you should. He was a keynote speaker today at Bark World and his session was amazing. I met Brian at the Periscope Summit last year in New York City. I follow his social media. He's got a ton of info.
I'm going to share it out right now. So that's
awesome.
Yeah, we'll get it out there. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
So Brian has a lot of information on live video and social media in general, and I'm just going to ask a couple of quick questions, and then I'm just going to go straight to you because we can't go landscape really in
No, you can't.
Facebook Live, which is so annoying. I wish they would fix that. You hear that, Mark?
I would like to too. They need to fix that.
They need to fix that because Periscope rules the roost with that. Okay, so one of the things that you said in today's talk was perfection is a fairy tale. So tell me a little bit about what you mean by that when it comes to social media and a business, and especially for all of us pet professionals who are like trying to be seen on Instagram and other areas.
Well, I think this is a good example right here, right? The dogs are barking in the background, and we're at Bark World. I think traditionally you would look at media that I'm creating on a brand page that needs to be at a level of perfection.
Right.
You know? And I think even looking at what we overall look at as what perfection is, you know, I think for traditional, when you're looking at video, people compare it to TV, but we're not consuming it the same way we're TV. Who we are as consumers have changed. And so like for me, I asked, you know, it was one of the big things for a lot of people, the hardest thing for them to overcome on video was overthinking, and they would tell me all these things they had to do. And I kept saying like, well, who's making you do that? Is it, do your customers want perfection? Do your clients want perfection? Do your, you know, who you're targeting? And everyone came back and said, no, none of us expect perfection. We don't even believe perfection is obtainable. And I'm like, well, then why are we holding ourselves to doing that? And so for me, perfection is really that roadblock to clicking the button. We put all of these things like, everything must be perfect. The sunlight, audio. We have to have a special microphone. It's even, you know, podcasting was so hard because they had all these things that had to be done. And then people started to realize, like, you don't have to do it that way. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm not saying that having a strategy is not important, because it extremely is. But I think getting over the need to be perfect allows people to be more human in who they are.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that people use the excuse for it's not perfect is a fear factor.
It is.
You know, it's not perfect. I'm not going to do it today. I've done it. You know,
I have too. I've done it. Yes, for sure.
So, and then control is an illusion is another one that, you know, you don't have, like right now, we wish this was landscape so we don't have the control over that. The dogs are barking in the background, so we don't have control over that. There's traffic noise and a little bit of wind. All right, I could have a mic, but I don't have a mic right now.
Right. No, yeah, I mean, the control is an illusion for me, especially if you're looking like as a pet owner, even as a brand. Controlling your message, controlling what people say about you is not the objective, right? It's not even possible. And so when I look at things that you're doing, when brands are talking, and even when we're, you know, an influencer and you're connecting with people, it's not about controlling the narrative. Right. It's about sharing your story and telling the story, right? Because I think part of the reason with control and the reason we look at control is that we believe that is obtainable, and it's extremely frustrating when there's negative reviews. But if you embrace that, like for me, talking fast was something that people. I mean, I went to, you know, communication classes. I went to professional speaking. They were like, Brian, you really need to focus and control how you talk. And for me, I realized I couldn't control it, and when I did it, I became not myself. Right. So rather than doing that, I even say it on stage every time. Hey, I know I talk fast, guys. That's kind of who I am. Yeah. And by doing that, it actually allowed me freedom to be myself, and nobody complains about it. And it's even like now, like kind of a thing like, we had to put you in like half speed, Brian, to watch and take notes. But I think part of the control is
that's funny. Pause, rewind.
Yeah, exactly. You almost felt like you. And so I think control and perfection are going to fall in that arena where our need to control something that is impossible to control makes it like we can never win. We can never. And I think, you know, even if you have, you know, bad, you know, a social media manager posts something bad, right? Yeah. Oh well, you apologize for it. We're all human. And the idea that like we would say we're not going to let anybody post for us because we want to control that. Well, you're taking away the value that your audience is getting rather than controlling something that's not even worth doing that.
Yeah, I agree. So one question I did have for you while you were up there speaking today is, since I'm in the pet industry and our viewers are pet professionals, how can a pet professional is nervous to go live or not sure what to do in their retail store, or if they're a pet expert, how can they stand out from the noise on social media and or live video?
So I think, you know, the hard part for me is I work with tech brands, developers in this communities where they don't have a passion for what they're doing. They don't have a connection. Like it's really hard for them to create content, create the pet space is not that. I think it's the opposite, right? It's people are so connected. Yeah. It's such a it's a link. It's part of who we are. We think of the pet as a family member, and I think looking at it from that side as a fan and how do you stand out from the noise, you have to really start sharing the why around what you do in the pet space. Yep. Because if everybody's passionate about it, if everybody loves and I think every pet owner, especially if you're looking at like a boutique, they're all doing it for a reason, right? But your why ends up being your value proposition. It's how you stand out from other people, and I think you have to focus on that. So, highlighting your customers, highlighting why you do what you do, right? Like, what's going to make someone go to your store, get out of their house versus buying it on Amazon, or right. And for me, the connection, and then also the ability to listen. So, like for a lot of brands, I tell them like, let's do things where we ask our community to decide what's on sale, to ask our community to decide because. If you're allowing them to have a part of that, they now have a connection with you. And right. So when they're going to make that decision, do I buy Amazon or do I buy from this store? Well, that store cared about my opinion. Amazon doesn't.
That's a really great tip.
I think that to me is making that connection is because the pet owner is already wants to have a trusting relationship with a brand, and I think when you're able to do that, and live video is perfect for it. I mean, tell your story, share behind the scenes,
right?
And even share your. Like let's say your struggles. I think struggles is one that I think more people, like on my website where we are launching an I don't know page, and it's gonna literally highlight everything I don't know because I want people to understand that I'm not perfect. I'm not claiming to be perfect, but I want them to kind of be able to kind of come along on the journey for me. And I think as a pet owner, like, hey, I'm struggling to find a way to reach a new audience, and I'm losing business to a Walmart or Amazon, whoever the big brand is, and telling that, like almost humanizing the brand as well as humanizing your journey as a owner in the pet space, I think would really be great ways to kind of stand out as well as connect.
I think that's a fabulous tip. So if you guys, I love hey, what do you guys want on sale this week or whatever? One of the, I don't want to say the brand name, but one of the .coms is a big competitor for a lot of our retailers, and they're all complaining about it because they're undercutting prices and all of that. So that's a really good tip. Ask your pet owners, hey, we're going to have a new sale next month. What do you want it to be on, or next week or something? I love that.
Yeah, and even on that, I believe in one of the chapters in my book is actually the future of marketing is social good, because I think we're now willing to pay more, and we're willing to kind of go above and beyond or go to do a little bit less convenience for a brand that's either doing something good, giving to charities, but also brands that have kind of like that affinity, like, hey, we're a pet store, but we also, we're doing adopting pit bulls as well, whatever the connections are. And I think if you're able to highlight that, the .com cutting a price shouldn't be your worry, because people are going to be willing to do a little bit more if you're willing to show that you're doing a little bit more than the .com would.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. So how is social video? This is one of the things that he said, and I love this because I'm a video person. Social video, an equalizer for every brand.
It is. So I think from a traditional brand, if you were to look at your brands that are out there today, 5 years ago, if you wanted to create video, you wanted to reach an audience, you wanted to have a conversation, it cost you thousands of dollars, studio time. You probably didn't even feel like it was even in your, plans, your 5-year plan as a business owner. I can't afford that. And now we can go live. We can do this content with our phone for free. We're using Facebook Live, Periscopes for free.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and so I think social video is breaking down that bar, and you no longer have to be the .com. You no longer have to be the 5,000 chain store to get your voice out there, to be heard. I mean, people can consume Facebook Live, Periscope on their Apple TV. You can put this inside of your email newsletter, and you're now able to download it. And, reuse it, cut it up, and these are all things that before was only the big budget companies, the companies that we can't compete with. And I think now it's really about, for me, it's going to allow the good to be amplified, and those that have been hiding behind and being able to be the big .com but really were not good people or even had good products, but were able to hide behind the fact that they had good big budgets, they're going to be exposed now, because now that we're all able to see this, it's going to bring the bar back down to where it belongs. That's why I think it's a great equalizer. Yeah,
and I think it's great. And just to give you guys a little insight, when I was a television producer and we used to have companies hire us to do videos, it was easy 50 grand to start with. So
Yep.
now you can do it on your iPhone for free. So all the pet professionals that are nervous about it, I've taught media training courses. I've done this a lot of times for pet professionals, and I still see some people like, I don't know, I don't want to do it. I'm like, you just have to do it. It's never going to be perfect. So one last tip, and thank you so much again for being here. And by the way, Brian's a fellow pit bull owner, so we love that.
Yes, I am. You're at Rescue Pits too.
Yes,
So.
yeah, awesome. So what is one thing that you would say that's new, that's coming out, maybe in social media that you've seen that not everybody knows about, and that pet professionals can apply it?
So I would say Instagram stories. Instagram is. I'm amazed at how great the pet community is on Instagram, and the hashtags that are out there. I mean, I ended up going 20 hashtags deep into and spending an hour longer than I planned
where
on
did
it.
I start?
Yeah. But I think Instagram stories, and for those that it allows you to take 10-second video or pictures, and you can take them and post them in your account. They only exist for 24 hours, and they don't sit on your timeline. They're actually, someone has to be clicking on the bubble. But for me, it's that ability now to add more context. Even add yourself, because from a pet owner perspective, you don't want pictures. People are following you for your animal,
right?
But the reason you're doing it, your passion, and even like the story behind I met someone today, and her daughter is making bow ties, and I just love that. But if you're looking at the profile is the product, profile is the dog's wearing it. Well, I want her story. I want to hear, because now not only do I want to buy it, I want to buy it for my friends because I heard what she had to say.
Does,
And before, you had to be like, well, come to my Facebook page, go to my YouTube channel. But no one likes being told to go anywhere else, and we like having kind of like that. Come to where your audience is, and I think Instagram stories allow you to add that layer, and it's not permanent. It goes away in 24 hours, so it adds a little, and it also makes people want to come back. Like if one of the brands that I'm working with, like they're doing an Instagram story Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and what they found is their Instagram pictures they post on Monday, Wednesday, Friday drastically increase on likes and comments, because people are now going there knowing that they have to go there to consume the Instagram story. So you can almost use it as a lead generator back into Instagram, because sometimes we all know, if you're not, the sad thing about Instagram, if you're not looking at hashtags, you're going to miss a lot of content that disappears. And I think for me, Instagram stories is a great way, especially because pet owners are already great on that platform. The community is already there. Use it to add context.
I just have to say, I did not pay Brian to say that, but we have a networking event on Thursday, and we're talking about Instagram. We're teaching all Instagram for pet professionals.
No, I did not know that until right now.
Right? So and Instagram stories is very cool. So awesome. So Brian, I know where I can find you, but where can our audience find you?
Yeah, so consistency is extremely important. So iSocial fans everywhere. So iSocialFans.com, and then every social platform that's out there, I use the same handle, iSocial fans, and Twitter is probably the number one for me, but if you're not on Twitter, message, comment, DM on any of the other platforms. And we were doing this over Facebook Messenger and made it happen. So
exactly.
That's what it's all about.
Very cool.
Feel free to reach out. But thanks for having me on.
All right, thanks so much, Brian.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. I'll see you soon.